You look absolutely radiant.
Thank you. You look very handsome yourself.
I am the luckiest man.
I love these moments with you.
They are the best part of my day.
And of mine.
They called her Golden Touch in the streets of Port Harcourt. But what they didn't know was that every man who touched her paid with his life. 23 men had become billionaires. Adeze was born on a stormy night in a small fishing village near Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Her mother died during childbirth, and the midwife who delivered her ran screaming from the hut, saying the baby's eyes glowed like moonlight on water. Her grandmother, Mama Nkiru, raised her alone. The old man knew something was different about the child, but she loved her anyway. Adeze grew up beautiful, with smooth dark skin and eyes that seemed to hold secrets of the deep. When Adeze turned 18, everything changed. A young fisherman named Chidi fell in love with her. He was kind and hardworking, and Adeze loved him back. On the night they first made love, Adeze felt a strange cold energy pass through her into his. The next morning, Chidi woke up different. His phone started ringing with business opportunities he never had before. Within 1 week, he closed a deal worth 500 million naira. Within 1 month, he was a billionaire, buying houses and cars, celebrating his sudden wealth. Adeze was happy for him. She thought maybe her love brought him good luck. But exactly 2 years after that night, Chidi collapsed at a party. By the time they rushed him to the hospital, he was dead. The doctors found nothing wrong with him. His heart just stopped beating. Adeze cried for weeks. She thought it was just terrible luck, a cruel coincidence. Then it happened again. Adeze. After Chidi's death, Adeze tried to stay away from men. But she was young and lonely. A year later, she met Emeka, a struggling businessman who treated her with respect. She didn't tell him about Chidi. She convinced herself it wasn't connected. They slept together and the same thing happened. That cold energy, that transfer of something she couldn't name. Within weeks, Emeka's failing business exploded with success. Contracts appeared from nowhere, money flowed like water. He became a billionaire in 6 months. Adeze watched carefully this time. She marked the date on her calendar. She prayed it wouldn't happen again. But exactly 2 years later, Emeka died in his sleep. No explanation, no illness, just gone. That's when Adeze knew the truth. She was cursed. She went to her grandmother crying and confused. Mama Nkiru listened, then her face went pale. The old woman finally told her the story she had hidden for 20 years. Your mother made a deal with the water spirits, Mama Nkiru said, her voice shaking. Your mother made a deal with the water spirits. She was barren for 10 years. She went to the river and begged the spirits for a child. They gave her you, but with a price. Any man who joins with you will receive great wealth, but he will die young. The spirits feed on their life force. Adeze felt her world collapse. Why didn't you tell me? I thought maybe it wasn't true. I prayed every day it wasn't true. Tears ran down the old woman's wrinkled face. I'm sorry, my child. I'm so sorry. From that day, Adeze tried to live like a ghost. She avoided men completely. She moved to a small apartment in Port Harcourt and worked as a cleaner, keeping to herself. But rumors had already started spreading. People noticed the pattern. Men who got close to the beautiful girl from the river became rich, then died mysteriously. 3 years of loneliness passed. Adeze was now 24 years old. She had built walls around her heart so high that nothing could climb them. Then she met Chief Okafo. He was 55 years old, a wealthy businessman who owned oil companies across the Niger Delta. He saw Adaeze at the market one Saturday and became obsessed with her beauty. Chief Okafo was different from other men. He had money already. He had power. What he wanted was something money couldn't buy. He wanted to feel alive again. He pursued Adaeze relentlessly. He sent gifts to her apartment. He offered her money, which she refused. He promised her everything. One night, he came to her door drunk and desperate. "I know about you," he said. "I know about the curse. I know what happens to men who touch you." Adaeze tried to close the door, but he pushed it open gently. "I don't care," he continued. "I'm already dying. Doctors gave me 6 months, cancer in my blood. I have all the money in the world, but I can't buy more time. So why not take your curse? Let me have 2 years of feeling alive, feeling wealthy in a way I've never felt before. Then I die. What's the difference?" "I can't do that," Adaeze whispered. "I won't kill another person." "You won't be killing me. The cancer will. You'll just be giving me a better death." Adaeze looked into his tired eyes and saw something she recognized: acceptance. He had made peace with his mortality. That night, she broke her vow. She let Chief Okafo in. The curse worked as it always did. The cold energy transferred. But something strange happened to Chief Okafo. His cancer went away. The doctors called it a miracle. His wealth, which was already enormous, doubled, then tripled. He became one of the richest men in Nigeria. And for 2 years, he lived like a king. He took Adaeze around the world. He treated her well, never with ownership but with respect. He knew their time together had an expiration date, and he savored every moment. Adaeze found something unexpected, a kind of peace. Chief Okafo wasn't a victim. He had chosen this fate with open eyes. When the 2 years ended, Chief Okafo threw a huge party. He gave away most of his wealth to charity, to schools, to hospitals. On the final night, he held Adaeze's hand. "Thank you for giving me the best years of my life," he said. "But I want to give you something too." He handed her an old leather journal. "My grandfather was an anthropologist. He studied the river spirits, wrote everything down. Maybe there's something in here that can help you break your curse. Don't give up, Adaeze. You deserve to live fully too." That night, Chief Okafo died peacefully in his sleep with a smile on his face. Adaeze spent weeks reading Chief Okafor's grandfather's journal. It was filled with stories about the water spirits of the Niger Delta, their powers, their rules, their weaknesses. One passage stood out. "The river spirits are bound by ancient laws. They cannot break a bargain once made, but they can be challenged. If a human offers something of equal or greater value than what was originally bargained, the spirits must consider an exchange. But beware, they are tricky and they do not like to lose." Adaeze read that passage 20 times. An exchange, that was her answer. But what could she offer that was equal to what her mother had bargained? Her mother had offered her future, her body, her daughter's destiny. What did Adaeze have that could match that? Then it came to her: memory. Her mother had wanted her so desperately that she gave up everything. The most valuable thing Adaeze had was the memory of all those who had died because of her. Their faces, their stories, their love. 23 men. Chief Okafo made 24. If she gave up those memories, she would forget the lesson of her curse. She would forget the weight she carried. She would forget why she needed to be careful. But maybe that was the price of freedom. Adaeze returned to her village for the first time in 6 years. The fishing boats still lined the shore. The river still flowed dark and mysterious toward the Atlantic Ocean. She waited until midnight, when the moon was full and bright. She walked into the water, feeling the cold current pull at her ankles, then her knees, then her waist. "I know you can hear me," She called out to the darkness, "I want to make a deal." The water around her began to glow with a soft blue light. It rose up, forming a shape, a figure. The water spirit appeared before her, neither male nor female, beautiful and terrifying at once, made of river water and moonlight. "Child of the bargain," the spirit's voice sounded like water rushing over stones. "Why do you disturb us?" "I want to exchange my destiny," Adaeze said, trying to keep her voice steady. "My mother made a deal she had no right to make. She traded my life without my consent. She traded her future for a child. That is her right as the one who would give life. But I'm the one paying the price. 24 men are dead because of me. I never asked for this curse." The spirit circled her slowly. "What do you offer in exchange?" "My memories," Adaeze said. "Every memory of every man who died. Their faces, their voices, their love. The weight I carry every day. I offer you that pain, that guilt. It's the most valuable thing I have." The spirit paused, considering. Memories are powerful. Guilt is a heavy offering. But is it equal to a mother's desperation, a woman's 10 years of prayers? "No," Adaeze admitted. "But I offer something more. I offer forgiveness." "Forgiveness?" "I forgive my mother for what she did. I forgive you for the curse. I let go of my anger. That forgiveness, combined with my memories, that's my offer." The water around them began to swell faster. The spirit's form flickered, uncertain. "Forgiveness is rare among humans," the spirit said slowly. "It has power we did not expect. Do we have a deal?" The spirit was silent for a long moment. Then it spoke, and its voice was softer, almost sad. "The curse was never meant to last forever, child. Your mother begged for a daughter who would never want for anything, who would have the power to give great gifts. We gave you that, but we are creatures of balance. Every gift requires a sacrifice. We thought you would learn to live with it, as others have." "Others?" Adaeze's eyes widened. "You mean I'm not the only one?" "There have been others throughout history. Some learned to control the gift, to use it wisely. Some were destroyed by it. You are the first in 200 years to come back to us and ask for an exchange." The spirit moved closer, its watery face inches from hers. "Your offer is accepted, but with a condition. We will take your memories and your forgiveness. In exchange, we will transform your curse. You will no longer bring death to those you love. Instead, you will bring healing. Any person you touch with true compassion will be healed of their deepest wound, physical or spiritual. But this gift will drain you. Use it too often, and you will fade away like morning mist on the river. Use it wisely." "Will I remember?" Adaeze asked. "Will I remember why I can't use this gift too much?" "You will remember the lesson, but not the pain. You will know you must be careful, but you won't carry the weight of 24 deaths. Is this acceptable?" Adaeze thought about it. She would lose Chidi's smile, Emeka's laugh, Chief Okafo's final words. But she would also lose the nightmares, the guilt, the fear of touching anyone she loved. "Yes," she whispered, "it's acceptable." The spirit reached out with a hand made of water and touched her forehead. Adaeze felt a cold, then warmth, then nothing. Memories poured out of her like water from a jar. Faces she knew faded to shadows. Names she had whispered in grief became echoes, then silence. When the spirit pulled away, Adaeze was crying, but she didn't know why. "Go now," the spirit said gently. "Live your life, but remember, every gift has a price. Use yours with wisdom." The spirit dissolved back into the river, and Adaeze was alone in the water under the moonlight. Adaeze walked out of the river feeling lighter than she had in years. She didn't remember the specific faces of the men who had died, but she remembered there had been tragedy in her past. She remembered she needed to be careful with her gifts. She moved to a new city, Calabar, where nobody knew her story. She got a job at a hospital as a volunteer, working with sick children. One day, a little girl named Blessing was brought in. She had been in a car accident and couldn't walk. The doctor said her spine was damaged beyond repair. Her mother cried every day beside her bed. Adeze felt something pull at her heart. She sat beside Blessing and held her small hand. "You are going to be okay," she whispered. That familiar cold energy moved through her, but different this time. Warm, healing, giving instead of taking. Blessing gasped. Her legs began to move. The doctors called it a miracle. Adeze felt weak for 3 days afterward, but recovered. She learned to use her gift carefully, maybe once a month when someone truly needed it. A man with a broken heart after his wife died, a woman who couldn't forgive herself for a mistake, a child who had lost hope. She healed souls more than bodies because those were the deepest wounds. Years passed. Adeze eventually fell in love with a teacher named Kunle. He was patient and kind. She told him about her past, the paths she remembered and the paths she knew she had forgotten. "We all have pasts," Kunle said. "What matters is who we choose to be now." They married in a small ceremony by the Cross River. Adeze didn't use her gift on him. She didn't need to. He was already whole, and so was she. Sometimes late at night, she would dream of a river glowing with blue light. She would dream of faces she couldn't quite see, voices she couldn't quite hear, and she would wake up crying without knowing why. But when morning came, and Kunle held her, and the sun rose over their small house, she knew she had made the right choice. She had traded death for life, curse for healing, guilt for peace. And though every gift had a price, this one was worth paying. Mama Nkiru died when Adeze was 30 years old. Before she passed, she held her granddaughter's hand and whispered, "I'm proud of you. You did what your mother couldn't. You broke free." "Did Mama know?" asked Adeze. "Did she know what would happen to me?" "She hoped you would find a way to turn the curse into a blessing. Maybe she knew all along that you were stronger than anyone expected." After the funeral, Adeze went back to the river one last time. She stood on the shore, remembering without remembering, knowing without knowing. "Thank you," she said to the water, "for the exchange, for the second chance." The river flowed on, dark and mysterious and eternal. And if the water spirits had her, they didn't answer. They had made their bargain and they had kept it. Adeze walked away from the river and never returned. She had looked back at her past long enough. Now it was time to live for the future, to use her gift wisely, and to remember that every ending was also a beginning. The girl from the river had become something more, a healer, a wife, a woman who carried light instead of darkness. And though she would never know the names of those who died because of her, she honored them in the best way she could, by saving others one healing touch at a time. The end. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.